Okay, here we are, Friday, August 25th. This is the final day for the this money glitch trade. And right now, you can see this is our current live position. And right now, it looks like I can get around 600 bucks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take half the position off, try to get about between 500 and 600 bucks on it. And then I'll ride the other half into later on into the day and just keep an eye on the this pink expiration line. Since we're at the profit hump, I'm going to try to take some of this profit off right now. So here we go.
A few moments later.
So just took off half of it. So the current setup is we have a theta of 1100, Vega 268, margins at 2606 now. And right now it's showing a profit in the trade of 730 bucks. So I'll just continue to monitor this. It's about 8 o'clock right now, Friday morning. So the market closes at 1. This is Pacific Coast time. So we're not quite through half of the day yet, but we're getting close to about the first half being done. All right, we'll come back. See you soon.
1 hour later.
Okay, here we are, Friday the 25th. This is the second video for today. It's about 9 a.m. now, Pacific Coast time. So that's like noonish, Eastern Coast time. And here is our current trade. So this is sort of significant, I think, and worth looking at. So if you remember our last video that I did this morning, I took off half the position. We were down in this area and it was showing about a profit of like 600 bucks or so. So I took off half of it. So I closed out half the position, wound up with this position here, and the market's moved back up now. And as you can see, this droop is really starting to droop a lot now. It's really significantly down. So I wanted to document this, that is an issue. This thing could even come down and wind up below that break-even line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an adjustment to prop this back up to buy myself some more room to see if I can, squeeze out any more profit out of this trade. So here's the adjustment. Here's the current trade. You can see this is really getting low now, 260 bucks. As we get closer there in price, we're currently, the position has 250 bucks of profit in it. I'm going to prop that up now with this adjustment.
12 seconds later.
So there it is without it. And here's with that adjustment. So we've propped it back up. We've propped it back up, that sag area, and it's still a risk-free trade. We have, worst case scenario, if it crashes, we have $138 of profit. And if it skyrockets, we have $219 of profit. So I'll continue to monitor this. It's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday. This trade ends today because these options expire today. So we'll just continue to monitor this. And if we see anything else come up here along the way, anything like crazy looking or significant enough to document, I'll come back. Otherwise, I'll do one final video at the end of the day, close the trade out, and just see where we wind up.
2 hours later.
Okay, so here we are about an hour and a half before the market closes on Friday, and this trade is wrapping up here. And I just kind of, as I'm watching this, I'm seeing this, these lines, these expiration lines start to act real tweaky, and it looks like maybe everything's kind of sinking. So I'm going to exit out of this trade while I have some profit in this.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so that's the final trade. So we wound up closing everything out for a total profit in the position of $239. So that's the final P&L on this trade, 239 bucks. So let's just do the math real quick on this, and let me get my fancy calculator out here. All right, so the original required margin on this trade was $5,175. So if we made 239 divided by $5,175, that's a return of 4.6. So 4.6% return in a week, in 5 days. So that's a really good return. The thing is, I really don't consider this trade to have $5,175 of risk, because if you've gone through all these videos with me, you've seen that I had no risk whatsoever if there was a crash. I had no risk whatsoever if there was like a melt up. Really had no risk during the week because I had a huge positive theta, and I had that whole money area, that whole profit tent that we were in. So the only real risk, at least the way that I look at it, the only real risk that I had was potentially today during the close down process. You can see how that droop section started to droop more and more. And if I wasn't on top of that, say for example, I put the trade on at the beginning of the week and then I just walked away and I didn't look at it again until Friday, like an hour before the close, that droop could be a problem. And at least for me, I would consider that really the only risk. But technically, the broker requires $5,175, and some could argue that there was other risk in there. So you can look at it however you want. But for me, this particular trade is pretty much as close as I've seen to a risk-free trade. Now, early on in the day, when I closed out half that position, I closed it out for about $600. Now, let's say that I closed that trade out at $600, the entire trade instead of just half of it. Let's say that I closed out the entire trade and see what kind of return that would be. So we'll just say $600 profit divided by the required margin of 5,175. And that's a return of 11.5% in 5 days, in a week, which is excellent. And again, especially when you consider what I'm calling or what I'm considering as to be the real risk in this trade. As long as I'm watching the position, I understand how it works, and I close it out before the last final hours on Friday. So that's the money glitch trade. And if you'd like to find out how you can learn more about the specific details of this trade, for example, like how it's constructed, what options we're using, what expirations, exactly how the trade is built, how it's managed, how the adjustments work, all of the actual specific little details that you would need to know to put this trade on yourself, just go over to my website. I'll put a link down in the description for my website and look for the button on the homepage that says the money glitch trade. It should be about right here. Sign up and join me there. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel because, like I said, I'm going to continue to be doing these trades as well as a whole series of other similar type of trades. So go over to my website, sign up for free, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next one.